The image harvesting is literally bullshit. They're just taking our faces, our voices, or whatever, and it's not like you have to sign up for permissions. If you have the damn phone, it's a part of the update on the phone. So you can't really take it off. I've tried. Fuck Gemini. I don't like the shit on my phone. I don't want it to keep being offered. I hope that next year's phone has less shit on it. I'm super sick of it. We don't need to be tracked and monitored on a tracker and monitor. We might as well all have fucking ankle bracelets on. So I'm doing a live again today. I did. I tried to do one earlier. It got funky. It cut off, and then on the second try, same thing. It stopped 2 or 3 times. So if anyone here's tried to do your live streams today and it just keeps fucking up, it just keeps cutting off, disconnecting in the middle, then trying to reconnect. Mercury retrograde. We're going out of Mercury retrograde. Probably more likely what you're experiencing is yet another shadow banning, yet another interference, yet another distraction. If you've noticed that when you do your lives, absolutely no one joins in, no matter what time of day it is, your posts aren't getting out there, your updates are not coming out there, your premieres are not coming out there, then you've obviously got something to say, and people who are listening to you because the corporation, the big octopus itself, is trying to shush you. But y'all know, as well as I do, Team Godhead, the more they silence you, the more they suppress you, the bigger you get. The bigger your influence gets. It's like a silent revolution. So again, trying to bury the truth, trying to burn the tapes, trying to bury the evidence, trying to silence the witness is what it always is. We think court case are everyday shit. We don't think our government's about to get sued or that they can. We don't think that we're in trouble or that they're in trouble. We keep getting punished and allowing them to do it. When are the people going to get mad enough to say, fuck y'all, it's you, not us? We're not paying for this. We're not going to give you our money to torture us with. Right now, the majority of the people that I run into on a daily basis, and I live in the United States, so honestly, there's plenty to go around. There's a stark contrast between the haves and the have-nots, but a lot of it has to do with social economic situations where they're born into that neighborhood and they're just not getting out of it. So, between the haves and the have-nots are getting to the point of getting together and being like, well, why do they have it and we don't? Why do we keep making it for them but we can't use it? So here's a good example. Last year, I put my kids in public school for the first time, and because they're tribal, their school got tribal support for having them. My kids are special needs, and for one reason or another, the school would not put them in special needs classes, wouldn't give them a counselor, wouldn't do anything, just kept shoving it back on us. And then we got them behavioral health, and after that, it goes on all year long with my kids going every Friday to these behavioral appointments. Come the last week of school, I get a letter in the mail for truancy that is written down as child neglect. And I was like, say what? I work in pediatrics. I have no child neglect anywhere. So then I get to the courthouse and I'm asking the county clerk, what the hell does this mean? And she tells me, oh, well, this school district specifically puts truancy down as child neglect. And I was like, well, child neglect is child neglect. This should be a chargeable offense to even write this down. But we go before the judge, and then the judge gives the sentencing and is like, well, it's $50 or a day in jail or something if you don't pay the $50. And I asked the judge, can I just take this? Can I just say guilty and then pay the $50 and us be done with it? Because they had behavioral health all year long. It's not truancy. We've agreed with the school and the school has agreed with us to do these days every single Friday because they don't have a counselor in the school and won't give them special ed. The thing is the judge said, no, there's 20 other parents in here for the same reason on the last week of school, and the school board is already out, so they don't plan on coming to this. The judge was smart and rescheduled it for when the school year starts back, and then us and the school board have to come, and that school board is going to be questioned on why they took tribal money and then wouldn't provide the services to the tribal members. So a lot of that's happening. A lot of people and organizations are taking money to help the people and then putting it in their pocket, just wasting it, just putting it on stupid ass pet projects, ballroom floors, and fucking fountain repaintings. Our money that we pay in and keep getting taxed for harder and harder is being used on dumber and dumber shit. We don't need to see how frogs react to cocaine addiction. Trust me, the same person who told us about these dumbass pet projects is even dumber with their pet projects because we're the pets. And this is the kind of person who sacrifices animals, so we just get to live in a cage with this much room to move around. And if we don't like it, then we can just be off. We can just get a bag on our head. We can get deported to places we're not from. You know, when travel members started worrying that they were going to be deported to other places, you're born on a fucking reservation. You've literally always been here. You're from here and have never got to leave here. Deported to where? I've seen the ugliest side of a lot of this just due to the jobs that I've had, from security guard to medical to working in a casino, like just gaming. You see every type of person in every type of condition, and you, like I said before about the casino, the degenerate gambler is exactly the same. I don't care if it's a billionaire or your fucking street level tweaker with $20 in their pocket. When they're both sitting at that machine, they're the same person. They're both gonna keep playing until they shit out. They're both gonna play till they lose. We are being ran by people who are degenerate gamblers. They will keep betting and betting and betting until they lose because it's nothing to them. It's like water. To us, water doesn't necessarily have a monetary value. Each sip, each drop that you drink, you're not like, that's 2 cents, that's 4 cents, that's $1 cup. You just think water. Well, the people that are running us, literally, our blood is like 20 cents, 5 cents, 10 cents. We're decimal points here. It's not about our lives. It's about who controls the majority. The majority should be controlling the majority. Like, we can't control ourselves, we can't regulate ourselves, and those who can regulate themselves put themselves in positions to help others. Now, the greedy are not there to help others, they're there to help themselves. And if we're wondering what's stopping the flow of everything else, it's these greedy motherfuckers right at the mouth of it, eating it all theirself instead of putting it out there. Y'all remember the Sally Struthers fucking Feed America type thing, or whatever it was a fundraiser thing to feed the starving children? She got fatter and fatter every fucking year, and no money ever went to the aid of those kids, and it turned out to be a fraud and a scam, and later on they brought it up, and now it's a running joke. The Sally Struthers must have ate all the fucking food. That's fucked up to be body shaming someone like that, but it's a visual representation of the decadence, of the greed, of the people who can put on the fundraisers and put on these events just to write it off on their fucking taxes later. You don't need to be seen being a good Samaritan. You need to be a good Samaritan. You don't have to be patted on the back for being a citizen, but you do need to vote. You do need to do jury duty. You do need to meet your civic obligations. Otherwise, if you don't give a fuck about being a citizen, then you obviously don't give a fuck about who's running you. And since no one feels responsible for anything whatsoever, we just take their word for it. It's the gospel. Well, we've written new contracts for your district, for your name, for your zone, for your school, for your manufacturing, and y'all are going to abide by these guidelines. And these guidelines are not to help you. No contract is to help you. It's to benefit the one who had you sign it. When you work for an employer and you get hired, the contracts that you sign are to protect them, not to protect you. It names a couple of your rights, but it pretty much tells you you have no rights and you're signing up for it anyways. That the only benefit you're getting from this job is a paycheck. Well, with us getting less and less benefits out of our jobs, less and less people are actually working when they're at work. And so, since they're not able to provide for themselves at home, they don't give a fuck to provide for a business that doesn't provide to them. So the half-ass worker who doesn't want to be there, who's staying on their phone all day, who's waiting to get off, they're just there earning a paycheck, they don't give a fuck if the product gets on the shelf. Therefore, the shopper comes in looking for this main item and it is not on the shelf, so they don't give a fuck either. They don't buy something else because of shit they want's not on the shelf. They say fucking leave. They go without that product. And after so many times of having that happen at your main retailers, at your biggest distributors, and still the normal shit you're looking for is not on the shelf, or it is, but it's in back stock and the workers do not give a fuck if it gets on the floor or not. Well, that makes it seem like it takes more work to get more product out and the product costs more. So you're having to pay the employee more, the shopper's having to pay more, and basically all the cost is being deferred to the lack of product being sold. And they like to tell it to us as supply and demand. Well, there's too many people demanding it, so we got to raise the price on the supply. It's having an inverted effect to where you have a bunch of supply being written off as a tax loss, and they don't give a fuck because they're making money off of it either way. They're making money off of failing and succeeding. Mostly failing. That's what hedging your bets means. It means you bet on both sides. More likely that it's going to fail, and if you're the one in charge of being able to sink it, then yeah, not only did you get all your money back out of your sinking company, but these little side bets you made all across the board, they made money too. They made sure it failed so they could all get paid. more people are suing and more people are writing it off than they actually are doing the work, producing the product, being efficient. None of that's happened. We're outsourcing everything to basically some form of automated something. And then once it's automated, we can just tweak the numbers. We can cook the books. We can make it look like whatever we want it to look like because there's no actual living witness to anything that's going on. A lot of these big companies have 4 or 5 people, main people that are over all the rest of the departments and decisions. And then those other departments and decisions are also outsourced, like out of country. You know how many telemarketers we have from India instead of from the United States? In the United States. A lot of the time it's a buck passing game because my name drop here. Bank of America uses this company called Sykes, and then Sykes changed to Foundever. Basically, when Bank of America committed a bunch of fraud and lost a bunch of people's money, they didn't want to have to tell them that, so they outsourced telling people whose accounts were frozen, locked up, garnished, all this shit. They had telemarketers calling and answering and saying, "Do you remember your password? Do you remember your bank account numbers? Do you remember this? Do you remember that?" And tried to spin it as if it was these people's fault that the bank had fucked them. And so I'm just a low level telemarketer. I'm so sorry to tell you that we have robbed you fucking blind and there's actually no one but me to call. It took such a toll on the workers at this call center that they made very good money. They made $17 an hour when normal minimum wage around here is like 12. And the reason they make this kind of money is because within 3 months, they're so burnt out of telling people, "I'm sorry, we've lost your entire life savings," that they quit their job. The telemarketers have a very high suicide rate, right along with air traffic controllers and dentists. Delivering bad news all the time, seeing the hurt and decay of the world, and always being the one to say, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry that everything is fucked up for you now, and the best that you're getting is and I'm sorry," on a Tuesday from a telemarketer. There's nothing we can do about it, nothing to recover it, and it's your fault because you don't know your old bank routing number. There's not a bank routing number anymore because that whole branch is gone. There's no one to call, there's no IT, there's no HR, there's no nothing. There's no accountability. And when the bank's allowed to rob you and have, "Oh, well, you were only federally insured up to $100,000 even though you lost $1 million. That shit was intentional." Check and see who owns the banks, see who got your money. Everybody in these high offices want to point fingers. "Well, look what they did, not what I'm doing. Well, look, what about them, and what about them, and what about them?" A bunch of little fucking kids arguing. Meanwhile, the rest of the world is looking at these screen like, "What did they say? What's next? We have to do what? You're going to take what from us?" And somehow it's being implied that we agreed to it, that we signed up for it, that we were asked, that anything. We're not. We're just being subjected to it. And until we change our leaders, our leadership will not change. Nobody is going to convince me that they're so far up their own fucking ass that if we didn't have the kind of leadership we have right now, we would just be lost. We're lost right now because of our leadership. Somebody has got to regain control of the situation, not control the people, not control freak, power hungry, greedy motherfuckers. I'm talking about they have families too. They care about their future also. Maybe they don't care about their own life. Maybe they're close to the end. Maybe they've left the legacy that they want to leave for their family. But if they're going to be known figures who have done wrong to all, then publicly all knows who they are. I mean, everyone knows who they are. We know who's done this to us. And then even if there's still a hidden hand, the ones they've presented to us, the reason they're in that level is because once it's time for heads to roll, that's whose head gets taken. That's who they're offering up, right? And so right now, you're kind of seeing a humiliation ritual in reverse. Like the same one who did it to everyone else is now starting to have it done to him, to where almost every single bit of attention is negative attention, and that is by design. Because every bit of attention he put out was negative attention. All of us are suffering the consequences of his actions, of their actions. It's not our doing that's putting us in these positions. It's not us saying, "I don't need help anymore. I don't want that. I'm too good for this." Here's an example. So they asked the mayor or governor of the state of Oklahoma about food security for their people. He laughed and said that even though 50% of people have been taken off of SNAP benefits, TANF, stuff like that, that it will continue and that people should have to go to food banks and other places like that because there used to be a level of humility to having to get government assistance. Well, if their goal is to rob us and humiliate us, they will be the ones getting humiliated. They will be the ones getting outed. Because there's nothing fucking funny about an 80-year-old woman who lives by herself with no children and can't feed herself. She doesn't need to be humiliated about needing help. A single mother, fuck, two parents in a working household, a two-job household, still cannot afford groceries on top of everything else. They do not need to be humiliated about the fact that they need something to make ends meet. The fact that the gap is getting bigger and bigger and the goalpost is being moved further and further and further away, they don't need to be humiliated. This isn't sell your children because you can't feed them time. This is not the fucking depression era. You can't rob everybody blind and tell them we didn't have enough in the first place. We're gonna make sure that the boogeyman and the bad guy and the bank robber all get caught at the same fucking time. And although they were super busy just slaughtering people's names, assassination of character across the board, pissing people off, scaring people, intimidating, blackmailing, all this shit, all this extortion. We may see the first time ever of our government getting sued by our government. I mean, everyone in those seats did not agree to have this done. Everyone in those seats did not say, yes, I went to law school. Yes, I took politics. I did all this shit, a career long of it, because I want to fuck people over. That's not the main reason people take their job. People don't take their job just because they want to be the one to get that all in their pocket. The dirty, grimy motherfuckers do, but it never lasts. It never lasts because there's always someone younger, hungrier, and grimier than them who's willing to go even lower than they did. Newfound lows. And that's what we're seeing right now. Newfound lows. Anybody who's speaking truth or compassion or empathy or logic, they're being shut down quick, fast, in a hurry. They're being shipped out of the country in a crate. But those who are talking hate, abuse, violence, negligence, war, they're being promoted. They're being lifted up on high. Right, because if we all just destroy ourselves, we'll have what left? An empire of ashes? We'll fight over the crumbs? And what the fuck? We're helping them do it right now. We're helping them do this to us. And I'm sorry, but you're not gonna convince me that 11 people have swayed 8 billion other people to just do what they fucking tell them blindly. And if that's the case, to the few who won't, to the few who will not bow, who will not stay on your belly, who will not be scared off the cliff or locked into your home by way of imaginary fucking diseases, theoretical people who are out to get you. I mean, this whole ordeal that we've been watching, y'all, is fucking play act. It's theater at best. At best. It's bad acting is what it really is, but everyone can see through the illusion. And it's not just an illusion, it's the great Wizard of Oz. Like, we literally, the curtain has been pulled back and we can see the guy shit talking into the megaphone. It's just a dude sitting there talking into a megaphone. It was the influence. It was the way he moved that crowd on his behalf and how they felt galvanized, how they had felt seen after being ignored for so long. You weren't being fucking ignored, we were all talking at once. Why does your representative of a very, very small fraction of the whole world over get to represent all the rest of us? Why does 1% represent 99%? Why can't we represent ourselves? Why is there zero diversity in these seats, but they want to be in charge of the entire collection? I think a lack of understanding. I think that someone who's never been poor a day in their life, including their health has never been poor, shouldn't be in charge of programs that are to assist the poor. Especially when you have utter disdain for them and you show that every fucking chance you get. And then your little talking puppets underneath you also show that same disdain. Y'all's mirror, mirror on the wall. It's one big talking head for them all. It's getting fucking old. Someone's got to push back. I'm in a weird position now to where if they acknowledge me, then they're giving weight to what I'm saying. But if they ignore me, they risk me spreading this like a virus and making other people think it really kind of is fuck them. They've been doing this to us for a long time and they're getting no pushback. They're getting no pushback. And honestly, and in the media is not the pushback. It doesn't really do anything. And does nothing but distract from everybody. And unless you're one of the people who's supposed to be the distraction while the real ones are over here filing the fucking paperwork on this shit, then you're just being a part of the problem. The distractions are getting distracted at this point. The flying monkeys are getting distracted at this point because the chaos that they've created has actually started to be in their own life chaos, not being able to keep track of their lives. I have a family member who has had his finger in every pie trying to get this house. And this is a very good example of what I've been talking about here. He does not own this house. His family is a part of my family and they have money. The whole family has money. But this particular house that I'm sitting in only belongs to the ones with their last name. The other ones have a different last name. So in this house, the one with a different last name has tried to force, manipulate, blackmail. I mean, there's nothing this dude has not done to try to intimidate each and every one of us into just jumping ship. And the rest of them had been in the game so long, they're just like, I give up, fuck it, I don't care. I relocated over to here to help them. So once it finally got to this point, I'm like, no, this game that's being played is very specific. On the other side, my papa's a fucking real estate tycoon. Like, fuck around with some real estate law. And the relative who's trying his damnedest to get in this house, like I said, last name's not even the same. Out of 6 of us, none of us want this motherfucker. None of us want to be in it. We're just tied to it, like blood tied to this shit. And therefore, the amount of bullshit that happened to have this house, and like I said, blood tied. We got many, many bodies on this house alone because they kept trying to get it. From killing my granddad to killing my uncle to fucking putting my mom in a mental hospital to putting my other uncle in prison to taking my siblings' kids to, there's nothing they haven't done here, right? And I've talked about it a bunch of times on other videos. What I'm getting at is it's like I'm saying, silence the witness. This ordeal has gone on so long that the one who was puppeteering everybody, he was trying super hard. Hello, love. Trying super hard to get my mom out of the house, right? So my mom has schizophrenia. It was kind of easy to just drive her batshit and make her go jail and hospital. But no matter how he tries, this motherfucker's Houdini, and no matter what he does, she can pop back out. Whether it's psychiatric or prison even, she got out in a year early to come right back to her house. It's like a spiritual thing. Every single time they're trying to force her out of her father's house, it just does not work. She is protected. Her brother, who is the other half owner, inheritor of the house, is also that protected. Like, there's no getting around this protection, right? So, my grandma passed away 4 years ago. Right before my grandma gets real sick, my youngest sister says, Grandma, all these things could happen. What we need to do is get what you want on paper. We need to get it on paper. And so they did. They got her exact wishes on paper. And what her wishes were is that her daughter and her son inherit it. They are tied to it. And if they want to sell it, they have to get each other's permission to sell it. So these two will never agree, which means she knew her house wouldn't get sold, right? And because they couldn't agree or work on anything, my sister is the one who, my little sister is the one who had to take over. So she kept control of like the utilities and the mail and sewer services, stuff like that. She kept control of that. So the cousin who I'm talking about, who stepped in, my grandma's brothers took power of attorney over. When she got really sick, they got control of her, and the weird stuff that started happening, it was really all pointing back at them. But her brother becomes her power of attorney. So on paperwork, every time something needs to be signed in her name, he's signing his name, power of attorney, power of attorney, power of attorney. Then he's like, oh, I've got the perfect opportunity. So this is that one's son. This would be my grandmother's nephew. He feels that he is in a position because his father-in-law is my grandmother's brother. And he thinks, I'm about to acquire another house. I will help the uncle, the inmate. I'll help the uncle because my mom, she's too wild. She's not going to give in. She's not going to agree to sell her daddy's house. But the brother who's a repeat offender, has been in prison most of his life, has no actual sentimental attachment here, is like, fuck it, yeah, I'll sell it for the money I owe you. So what he was doing was trying to further and further indebt my uncle with shit so that he could say, you need to sell the house to pay me. And that's the storyline he's been on. But my mom was in here. She actually got out of jail early and came this May and was like, what are you trying to do? Is my brother out? So it was like a rat race. She was going to get out in May and he was going to get out in June, and there's a no contact between the two of them. So whichever one got in the house first, the other one couldn't come. My mom gets in the house first. Well, actually, I'm first, based on my uncle's request to protect the house. Well, I get in here. I keep it almost a whole year. I have been living in it, paying the bills, protecting the property. So then my mom pops up, and she is just a force to be reckoned with. She will not stop. It's the same thing she did last time. But she won't stop, and then she ends up committing assault and battery, okay? Against me, in front of my kids. Then, the cousin who keeps on trying to get this house, is like, well, keep your mom out, keep your mom out. We're trying to help your uncle, we're trying to help your uncle. And I'm like, dude, she has every right to be here. She's actually on the deed. This man has manufactured so much effing paperwork that skipping from his dad being the one that's power of attorney over my grandma's estate. Well, he wasn't power of attorney over her estate. It was over her medical decisions. Like, okay, do we need to unplug her? So she goes into the nursing home. She has non-alcoholic cirrhosis of the liver. Goes into the nursing home. She has a medical crash. They take her to the hospital. At the hospital, for some reason, they remove a foot of her intestines while she's already dying, while she's already been through chemo and everything. At this point, she's on a feeding tube, a catheter, and an IV. It's just going in and coming out, straight through. She's basically torturing the shit out of her while trying to get her to sign new paperwork. Well, there's evidence that shows 11 days after my grandmother passed away, even though she was completely invalid before she passed away, the paperwork shows that she signed the house over to only her son, took her daughter off the deed. That's not true. It wasn't possible, not capable of doing such. Well, my little sister is the only one that has the real paperwork the first time, because she knows not to leave it in this house. I came to deal with the people, the predators. She has the paperwork. We were at least smart enough to, put the ID in the wallet and the other one in the purse, not everything in one boot. We've had them play this game with us a lot for a long time. So after my grandma passes away, my mom goes to jail, and my uncle also goes to jail because of it. They're trying to change this paperwork around and make it look like my uncle's the only one on it. And then they're trying to also get it to look like, due to inability to irreconcilable differences, to where my mom got the no contact on my uncle 2 times, saying that they cannot live with each other, so it needs to be treated like a divorce where the house gets sold and then they have to split it up. Again, this will never work. By the time my uncle actually gets out, he'll have to do like 3 years probation where he cannot leave this spot. So it would be another 3 years before he could even think to sell it. This is a $150,000 home with nothing done to it, and the cracky cousin is trying to get it sold for $30,000 to another relative. So it looks like this. On this quitclaim deed thing, it has his name, his dad's name as power of attorney, and then his wife's name stamped on it as notary. These people have literally put their name all over some shit that's not theirs, trying to play this dumbass game. Well, while they're trying to play this stupid game with Tweedledum and Tweedledee, the first one gets herself in so much trouble, she's now locked into a federal case because it's tribal, and she keeps like ring around the rosy with the local police, and they're tired of chasing her. And countywide is tired of chasing her. Everyone's tired of chasing her, and she's such a problem that them trying to basically sick her on me so that I'll leave, because I guess right before the sale was going to go through, I had informed my uncle, look, this is what they're trying to do to you. They've kept me here. They've put me on the fucking bullseye of this target the whole time. But as soon as you're out, you're going to be on top of that bullseye again. And you're not going to be able to get past my sister with that paperwork. When this all goes to court, which it is because I've already been subpoenaed, I've been talking about it, they keep asking me where my mom is. Like she's disappeared from thin air. At this point, she could be in witness protection. I mean, they know that this one is highly targeted. They know she's a fuck up. And they know that she knows a lot of people's information that they would not want outed. They're terrified of what she would tell on people. My mom is so scandalous that I've seen her go to court and tell the judge, you still owe me for that 8 ball, and then he dismissed the court. I'm not joking when I say that she's got a lot on a lot of people. A lot of people are invested in seeing her disappear, but it's just not going to happen. She's helped too many people, good and bad, that if she's just asking to be hid, they will. But legally, someone's got to detain her because she's got shit on all sides of the fence. Now, the ones who've been trying to use her to get the thing they want, like she's holding on to their ankles. They're going down with her for even being involved with her at all, for connecting to her ass at all, thinking that if I move her over here, if I move her over there, Now there's just a trail of fire leading back to every single person who had anything to do with it. Because at the end of the day, the uncle was incarcerated the whole time, so he couldn't have made a single move. He didn't do anything. Hands tied, right? So the crazy cuckoo bird that everyone let loose to try to do, okay, all she did was collect evidence. They might as well pin a camera to her and just collected just a broad sweep. And I'm telling you, in that court hearing, it won't be from my side. They're just asking what happened to me. There are like 20 other people subpoenaed to testify against her based on all the shit she's done throughout this time and not been caught for it. So pretty much what I'm saying is that federal let this shit go until they had a solid case, and then the case was so solid that when they all go, it'll be proven beyond a shadow of a doubt. Like there will not be two hearings for this. The problem is she's so reckless that everybody involved with her is now getting investigated, whether they wanted to or not, whether they were hidden or not, because she did it in a very sophisticated way, if you will. She is a criminal mastermind. And a lot of these people in these offices who helped her do this shit are also criminal masterminds, and they got paid to do it. That's the ugly part, is that there's a receipt on everyone. And I can't believe that after everything they did to me, everything they did to the rest of my siblings, that the only names on this shit is theirs. It never passed hands between us. It's never traded. Like, no name has ever been traded on it. No one ever took over, and no one ever sold property. No one ever like did any moves like that. The only people who moved paperwork, had things notarized, falsified death certificates, had hospitalizations done that were unnecessary, treatments that were unnecessary, and court orders that were unnecessary was on their side. And like I said, their name's all over it. So while they were trying to fuck us, they got fucked. From the micro to the macro, I'm not the only one this is happening to. I am an individualized situation, but I tend to mirror the collective, the underdog, the unseen, the unrepresented, the overly oppressed. Bro, I fucking salute you, and the little one did not die for no reason. The fact of the matter is you were a witness, and other people also witnessed what happened to you, and you were possibly a thing that ties the whole shit and kit and caboodle together, because that was the missing piece. This is the closure that everyone needed. So, like I said, my mail had been disappearing for about 2 months. My tire kept having air let out of it, but my neighbors have recording of this, and that's how serious it is with everybody involved. Everyone saw that. Everyone is aware of these people's behavior. Even they are aware of each other's behavior. So now they're kind of fucked into a situation to where it's like, do we help the one who she wronged? Like, did we go put out all the fires that she started? Or do we just try to do damage control from headquarters? Do we just try to get out in front of this thing? There's no getting out in front of it. Like, y'all started it. Had they not kept trying to get that one spot that she was allocated, like, listen, it's this bad. There was a point where the last time she got sentenced, the judge told her, you can be as high as you want to for the rest of your life as long as you stay in your house. No one will come arrest you. No one cares. You can do whatever you want in your house. Don't bother anyone else. And that just was not good enough for her. That's how she ended up fist fighting her brother in the front yard, and they both got locked up. But on her return, like I said, she's only comes around because I'm around, and they only drug me into it because they couldn't get rid of her. I'm like, well, if you're expecting me to betray my own mom, that was a stupid plan from the beginning. Then I realized it was like keeping a dog with rabies alive so she could eat me. And the last thing, the assault and battery in front of children, was enough to put her away for good. Like that, they're done. They're done with it. That's a 4-year minimum sentence here. And on top of her already violating her parole, I don't know what the charge is for that, but I know it's coming. It took me all week long last week to collect the evidence, the proof, the file, get all my statements together. But then I also had to go have, like, not non-disclosures, but I had to have things signed of other people saying that they've either been her caretaker, or they've been robbed by her, or they've been a safe space for her, or they've given medication to her, or they've been an orderly. Like, anybody who's ever been involved with her is about to testify to her, not necessarily her character, but her moods, her lifelong history, her medical history, her criminal history. Like, people are coming to speak against her in droves, but some of the people that are going to speak against her are also going to be spoke against. So, like, it's going to be one of those fucked up trials where some of the people who are supposed to be experts are actually indicated in the document, so their testimony may not apply at all. She's really good at this game, and the people she's fucking with are good at this game. I do believe it's out of all of their hands. I do not think that you can go against a sovereign government who has decided to federally indict your ass and subpoena everyone else to testify against you. At this point, you're at the mercy of the courts. You throw yourself at the mercy of the court. I have been going through this with them for a very, very long time. And I was raised on the other side of the river. So I did witness how this was done to them, and I've had it done to me in different forms all the way until I've graduated into, okay, it's you. Yeah, you're the one going in the chair. You're the one that's going to be asking the questions. You're the one that's going to be giving the testimony. You're going to be the one that's got the full story on this, and the details are going to matter. My siblings, they're not going to be able to handle it. It's too much for them. They're not going to be able to put themselves in that position to actually testify against her. But she fucked with me for so long. I don't care. I'd be glad to burn this pancake at this point. It's fine. If it makes sure that she never gets to be around me or my kids again, that's what I asked the judge for, actually, was a lifelong ban of her to never be able to come around me again. I don't care about being reimbursed. I don't care about restitution. I don't give a shit about her giving me anything back. I want her to leave me alone. It's bad enough to have a parent that makes you repressed and is controlling and is just domineering. You can't make decisions for yourself because my decisions for you are better. That's hard. That's shitty. That's like being a trained dog. Militant. But to have a parent who is absolutely not a parent, they're just someone who pops up to fucking terrorize you, someone who comes to wreak havoc in your life, someone who comes to steal from you, rob and kill, that's not a parent. That's someone who's entitled. They think that they birthed their own property. I don't come with the house. I'm not a doll. I'm not a servant. And I sure as fuck don't owe it to her. And I don't owe it to the rest of my family to protect them from the illegal shit they also did to try to get this spot. I'm the only one who wasn't vested in trying to keep it and trying to use it as some kind of bargaining chip or power play or some sick ass puppet string to pull. As a matter of fact, the entire time I've been here, when one of my siblings are ass up and they're just in the street, they're like, I got no money and nowhere to go. Yes, you do. This is our family home. That's exactly why our grandparents lost their fucking lives for it. You do have somewhere to go to. But I can't let my ignorant ass mother and uncle destroy the legacy to the point that this big ass family with all these kids who never had parents to help them don't have somewhere to land in their messy ass lives. My grandparents were very upright people. Their children were very spoiled. Their children's children didn't even have parents because of how spoiled they were. They were very fucking bad. But it's come to the point where those grandkids are needing help and the great grandkids are needing help. And so they sent the oldest one left to come and sort it out and to make sure that what's ours is still ours, to help my little sister defend what she's been having to hold on to for the last 4 years by herself. They completely ruined her because it was so close to the court date. They fucking set her up, planted drugs in her car. Her baby daddy turned on her. He like fake proposed to her on her birthday, and then less than 5 days later, like I said, put drugs in her car, took it to the police department, had it searched, had DHS called on her, and had his new baby that they had taken from her, and then her other 3 kids that she had when they met taken from her. This girl ain't never been nothing but a mom. She's never done anything that would warrant what just happened to her. And so all signs point to they're just trying to uproot her, unhinge her, get her scattered out so that before that court date, she can't even think well enough to fucking present the evidence against them for the fraud. We're talking every type of fraud too. We're talking like I said, fake death certificates. We're talking stolen pensions. We're talking embezzlement, money laundering, like every version of tax fraud you can think of, to the point that the cousin I'm talking about sent his wife to real estate law school to try to sell this fucking house out from underneath everybody. That's what I said. Leaving a trail with your name on it. Every single action was geared towards getting this house and underselling the shit out of it for cheap for a quick return. Even my uncle, who he thought was too dumb to catch on, called up a realtor and said, how much is my 3 bedroom house in so and so worth with a den, a dining room, a living room, a sitting room, the 3 bedrooms, the 2 bathrooms, the giant ass tract of land, another chunk of land that was their donut shop, another chunk of land up all across the way that was their newspaper stand. Like I said, my grandparents were business owners, but they left their wealth to their entitled children who have no idea how to manage wells. Well, they squandered so much of it that the rest is put up. They weren't able to get to like their real assets. And now they've had to call someone else in to help them with that, but they're not calling real professionals, they're calling their own relatives, and it's their relatives who were so heavily vested in it coming to this outcome. It's not going to go, it already did not go the way they thought it would go. And by trying to force it, they made it worse on themselves. And the fallout is nuclear. Nuclear. I would hate to think that what I'm witnessing in real time in my own small little faction here is what's going on the broad scale. Because if that's what's happening, we'll be all right. Eventually, we'll be fine. Someone's going to take up this case on our behalf, just like this happened. Also, if you haven't been on here with me before, if you're not subscribed, if you haven't watched any of my videos from before, this is a 2-year-long ordeal. This being a new case, the last case was a job situation where I was sexually harassed so bad that the EEOC took up my case on my behalf without me filing for it. A coworker filed for non-payment, and when they investigated that to be true with him, he was like, you need to get a hold of her because the things they did to her was diabolical. And they did, and when they looked into my file and they looked into, I literally quit because of sexual harassment and retaliation through my supervisors. That one was with a quickness. Like I said, the EEOC took that one up, and that is still open, still being investigated. However, that business cannot operate until we go to court. They may not get to operate again, even post-court. So I don't go fucking with people trying to find a lawsuit. I actually get harassed and abused so bad in everyday situations that it leads to someone filing a lawsuit on my behalf. So, citizens of Townsville, fear not. It looks very bad, and we have taken a lot of hits so far in every sector. But at this point, the good guys are showing up. They have shown up. They just got to be quiet about it. They can't be as loud as the bad guy and be like, look at me, come and stop me from helping you, right? They have to do it low key. They have to do it the right way. The not pay someone off for a bribe, but do your homework and prove it type way. That proof is damning. That proof couldn't be buried. That proof couldn't be silenced. That proof couldn't be moved. Every time it tried, a new form came up. This is like that. We're all watching. It's happening to all of us. And so keep your little piece of proof. It may be just for your peace of mind, but you don't need to be gaslit as to what reality is. I had to track and report this shit for 3 years before anybody did anything about it. And then all of a sudden, I got attention from somewhere, and it made it to where they're like, what the hell is happening to you? This is a weird scenario to be in. Why? I explained the situation. They're like, that's illegal. You know that there's a something that has to be done about that. Someone to report it to, someone to investigate it. And so basically, I have been tied up in investigations, court cases, that like search and seizures. Like when my brother was killed last year, that opened an investigation on to who was around him. So it's not just my own shit, it's my shit plus my family shit plus me in it. So there's like 3 circles coming together all over the same thing. They seemed unrelated, but they really weren't unrelated. It was a triangulation, if you will. What is SC? Someone from South Carolina? Hello, loves. I'm sorry, the phone is sideways this time because I don't have my normal holder. But I'm going to have to end this message soon. I think it's 1 something. Are we almost 2 o'clock? Anybody know what time it is? Well, you're probably not my time zone. Anywho, if you are tired, if you're wore out, if you feel like you've been in an uphill battle, you have been. You've been fighting the devil in that long fucking night, but it's over because by the time they're asking you what happened, you've won. You're the last man standing. And at this point, it's full radio silence. Like the cousin who was bugging, tripping the fuck out, constantly coming by, he's not coming by anymore. He's not calling anymore. He's not messing with the uncle who he was picking up every week from the farm anymore. He's not concerned with where my mom is. No one's making phone calls. No one's driving by. No one's coming to the mailbox. And yesterday, I finally got 12 pieces of fucking mail all at one time. They tried to tell us our mailman was sick or something and no mail was delivered for 2 months. That's a crock of shit. I went and called him out at the post office and said, I need proof and receipt of whatever mail has been delivered in my name this whole time because I've done a change of address 3 different times. You know where I'm at. So, like I said, they told us, well, the mailman's sick. They'll be back on Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. Yesterday on Tuesday, whole chunk of mail shows up. It's all these denial letters and request forms and missed interviews and all these things to where these offices I was going to telling them, where the fuck is my paperwork? Why is it not coming? Why can you not email me something? And they inform me, well, it all comes through the mail. It all comes through the mail. No, you mean you were withholding it until I came and made a scene about it because, again, it's a federal offense to steal mail. Some of these things, some of these people have been doing this shit for so long and no one has stopped them, no one has checked them, no one has asked about anything that they're just, the show goes on forever. The gravy train with biscuit wheels never hits a wall. Well, when it's not yours, yes, it does. When the bill comes due, they're going to be asking who signed off on this. 3 years worth of fraudulent signatures, 4 years worth of, like I said, falsified documents, including death certificates, including pension statements. I mean, when you steal from travel, you are stealing from the government, but you are stealing from a sovereign government who has their own rules and their own laws. And when you do that, you can get double jeopardy. You can get fucked with them, and then you can get fucked with your local sheriff too, because you're a dual citizen. You could be in trouble in both places. But when you think you're in a little small faction and no one can get to you, it'll be someone in your own small faction. We got to check our own, like judges check judges, witches check witches, moms check daughters. You get what I'm saying? It's not necessarily judged by a jury of your peers, but it is your peers. It is people like you, people who have the same abilities as you, same access as you, and even they're saying this shit is wrong. That's what I mean. My mother needed to be stopped, and so did my family members. But I honestly did not expect an outside force to try to show up and change anything, because these are my generational curses. These are my fucking problems. The lingering karmic story that just does not want to end. I did my homework. I got to the bottom of it, and I actually figured out who's the hand up the ass puppeteering everybody. The crazy thing is because, like I said, they pushed so hard, stirred the pot so much that it came down to, you're the one holding the spoon. All this shit that's been stirred up, you're the one with the spoon. So, you can't handle the heat, get the fuck out of the kitchen. Hell is hot. The same person I'm talking about right now spent up so much money trying to con and convince other people. His big fat ass is having to mow his own yard, thinking he's dying. His whole family has moved in with him. Both of his daughters, all 3 of his special needs grandchildren, and his wife doesn't have to help him because she's busy being in real estate law school all day. So it's like all the shit he tried to use to pin other people down with, he's busy being pinned down with. It's crazy. This sleight of hand he tried to play, he got sleight of handed. This, I guess you'd call it spell work, but it's just gossip, constant gossip and rumors starting. Now there's a shit ton of gossip about him and rumors about him, and he's scared. He doesn't know which one's true. My favorite part of this story is David and Goliath. This big, fat, greasy motherfucker has been bullying my little sister for the last 3 to 4 years about this house, and my mom and my uncle, but mostly my sister because she's the coherent one. And now that's who he's most scared of. He shouldn't have fucked her life up on the way out recently. Had he left her alone, she'd leave him alone, but he basically declared war on her by getting her kids taken. So, her only counter to what all he just caused her is to go ahead and pull out the real paperwork in court. So although she may not testify, she's still going to submit all of that into evidence. She's got other shit to deal with. It's not his big ass. But that one little stone from her is going to take down the whole organization. And this whole time they've been looking at me like it's going to be me. But it's not going to be me. I might as well be the guard dog in the house who's totally not vested in the house itself. I don't come with the property. I don't have an owner either. I just found a safe spot to lay down. I, by inheritance, am literally not just permitted to be here. It's mine. It's mine unless I say I don't want it. Well, I don't want it forever, but I need it for right now. And it is serving its purpose. And until my people get back on home base, I'll be holding down the fort. So that's a guarantee. I won't be pushed off my little block here. It worked on the rest of them because the rest of them were scared and the rest of them are not independent. They've never lived on their own. I've lived on my own since before it was legal to do. I am capable of taking care of many while needing very little. But to try to cut me off, to try to choke me out, to try to end all my resources to where this is what I spend my fucking time doing. Well, I mean, you made yourself a target too. By targeting me, you get targeted. By putting me in a pressure cooker, you put the pressure on yourself. I'm not burdened with proving anything that since I come on here and tell you guys about it, which who gives a fuck if you're listening or not? The point is, it was recorded. I got it off my chest. I feel better. Y'all realize you're not the only ones it's happening to. Like I said, the little one didn't die for no reason. This Hunger Games shit is ridiculous, but I went ahead and caught me a sponsor. I went ahead and got a few good guys who said, yeah, this is a worthy cause. I'll see it through to the end with you, sis. We'll make sure it happens. We will make sure that justice is served. And it was my ancestors, and it was tribal, and it was strangers because my own family would not help me. The same could be true for you. If your own circle is the one fucking you, don't expect them to come rescue you. Go out of your network. Have the courage to open your mouth and speak to someone because you never know what might come up in a conversation. That doesn't mean that air out all your dirty laundry. It just means when you're standing in line at the grocery store and you're having to make life decisions between your milk and your bread, not sure if you're going to be able to get gas to get home. You're going home to ungrateful fucking relatives who moved in on you and made themselves your problem. It's okay to vent a little to the one in line next to you, to the cashier, to be like, damn, it's hot. I got a lot of mouths to feed. And just opening that conversation helps other people get it out. But the isolation and the gaslighting usually works. People actually think they're fucking crazy and paranoid and making shit up to justify what's going on. You're not making shit up. It really is broad scale that much. Like I said, post office involved, court system involved, school involved, a lunatic mother involved, her brother involved, obviously tag agencies, obviously notaries were involved. Real offices were going on here, utility companies, all that. But they're all tied in with each other because, like I said, it's a small town. They're all related to each other. The judge is the uncle to the fucking notary, right? And the notary is the sister to the funeral home owner. Lots of shit got falsified because they all know each other. Now that that's coming to the surface, it did not start with me. This shit is ending with me, and I don't know how far along you are in your family line and your story, but your justice is coming. And if you're the one always getting hit with these fucking bricks, it's because you're the generational curse breaker. You're the solution to this problem. Your family picked you. You are capable. You can do it, and you have the whole backing of everyone else who fucking fell down on this same battlefield. You're not going to fail because they have your back. This time is not like last time. If A, B, and C went before you and it did not work, they got some of it done. They got some of it pushed forward. We all have to do our portion. You don't need to do the whole thing. You have to do your portion. My sister was trying to do the whole thing without asking for help. It crushed her. I had tried to do the whole thing without help, and it crushed me. Each one of us that didn't ask for help, it crushed us. Once we started talking to each other, it really took the blinders off, and we weren't blaming each other in our circle anymore. We were like, who's outside of us who keeps backing us against the wall individually? Well, we came together. And the mom, who is in trouble, she's nowhere to be found because she's in trouble. The uncle, the sister, the little brother, myself, the other little sister, all got together and said, we need to keep him out. We need to keep the cousin out. We need to stop them from doing this to us. Because if they sell our house, you two will have nowhere to go. And unless they sell this house and use it for your medical, y'all's old asses are not going to be taken care of either. It's not about us not having a house. We do. But to keep our grandparents' house, which is also our mom and uncle's house, intact so that they don't end up in the street and so that they don't end up sick and alone, this was left for them. We're all more than okay with honoring that. As much of a fuck up as they are, our cousins trying to steal it from them is unacceptable, and we will step in on their behalf and stop them from doing that. So, even if people don't like us, they can see what's happening to us, and they're going to step in and help because this is fucked up and it's also affecting other people outside of us. Just like on the world scale, what our leader is doing is not just affecting us, it's affecting all of us. The abusers are fixing to get that abuse, not because we're doing it back to them but because they tipped the scale too far, but because enough was enough way back there. It We were hurt then. You didn't have to keep going. You don't kick them after they're dead type shit. This has been that. They're beating a dead horse. We are being compliant. We are doing what you fucking said. Why are you still torturing us? What is the problem? What are you not getting out of us, right? Well, if they're wanting you to die, then compliance is never going to be the reason, right? And if they're lying to you about what they want, then you're never going to get to the bottom of it anyways. You're just going to be a sitting duck. You're going to be taking what they say as the truth, and you're going to be following that fake storyline, and the next thing you know, you're in some real shit because you believe their version of events. You have to do your own thinking. You have to do your own feeling. And if tension and conflict is being created between you and your relatives over something monetary, you need to see the bigger picture. Money is not everything, and money will show you the ugliest side of people. But there's almost guaranteed a time that you will need help from someone else. And if you don't treat your family like shit, they'll probably be the ones to help you. If you treat your family like they owe it to you and family's just the people you hate naturally, then yeah, you're a man without a country, and when you're in some shit, your family's not coming because you don't have a family. You don't consider family. Not everything someone does is bad. Just because they're bad doesn't mean you have to hate them. As dumb as my mom and uncle are, I love both of them. They do have their positive traits. One is so jealous and psychotic that she has tried to kill me multiple times. The part of her that I made up that I could love is the part I still love. That's the image I'll keep of her. The reality is I can't be anywhere around her. She'll try to take me out. The uncle, he's just simple. He's not mean. He's not cruel. He's not vindictive towards anyone. He's simple to the point of basically he can be misled. He can be talked off a cliff. He can be way too easily influenced. My grandma told him back in the day, dude, you're the weak link. You're the one who's going to fuck us all. And he did. But also, he's the last one left alive. He's the one who's been in prison the longest. He's the one who's lost the most now at this point. And he's the one who has to come back and just sit with the Empire of Ashes and whatever's left. He's the one who actually has to come and stop the cousin from trying to sell the house. It's all on him. All this responsibility he never had to carry suddenly is only on him. And heavy is the head that wears the crown. Because now he has to be the head of his family. There's not much of a family left. There's a fucking den of thieves and a pit of vipers. So I hope he's good at snake wrangling. But, spending almost 28 years in prison should make him very comfortable with snakes. He's going to be coming out here, and once he gets out here, I'm going to make sure he gets a real legal advisor, not a cousin in his ear, not another relative, not a judge he used to know. I'm going to get him a real lawyer. So probably a detective. He probably needs to get a detective. And he needs someone to actually investigate the paperwork on his behalf. Like someone on his behalf needs to look into this paperwork and get copies of the things with his name on it. There are so many things with his name on it that I doubt he ever signed. It's this bad. Okay, the cousin, when he thought he was going to rope me into this little con or scam, he was looking for something inside this house before I moved in and told me himself. He paid 2 tweakers to come here and look for a deed. And then when they brought it to him, they wanted like $300 or something. He said, fuck that. I should call the cops on you for being a thief, and then sent them off. So that's how he operates. So he's not above using literally low-level fucking criminals to achieve a bigger agenda. However, this punk motherfucker's a pastor in a church too, so y'all don't get confused by those guys wearing collars and holding Bibles. They're usually just clout chasers who like to name drop Jesus as if they know him personally when they clearly don't. They're just banking off his name. It's sick. Shouldn't pretend to be what some people really are. Shouldn't pretend to live here when it's not your house. Shouldn't pretend to care when you're really trying to extort us. You shouldn't have tried to play God in these people's lives, because I think real God is putting ass to belt now and there's nothing that can be done about it. I'm pretty sure this singular group of assholes is going to be the downfall of a larger group of assholes by way of proxy. Guilty by association. Like a giant spider web. And this one is being mangled to death to the point that it's getting the rest of them. If y'all want to know where to look and who did it to you, there's a whole group of Freemasons and Eastern Stars that let their problem child run around so much the tribal got her. Like I said, a whole different government. I don't know if you're going to have 2 governments fighting on the same soil, But I know the two governments want the same person gone because she's causing problems for both of them. So, however that goes, this key player right here, quarterback sneak, right up the middle, right up the middle. And while they were watching her, they didn't see anything else that was going on. Well, they switched from watching her to watching me all the time, and I was warning them, this is what she's doing, this is what's happening. And what they thought was, oh, you can take her. You can handle it. Whatever she does, you can handle. I mean, you're the best at handling her, so just handle it. It's out of my hands now. I mean, joke's on y'all motherfuckers. No one could handle her. I don't know why you're trying to cage her up and pin her up. That was stupid. Now we get to suffer the consequences of that. The butterfly effect of her chaos spreading like a virus. Only she doesn't get to terrorize her family anymore. So it's going to be the facility who has her or the organization that has her, whoever the hell has her is going to be suffering that, dealing with that. She is like bad luck, but like a virus. It's deeper. Like if she can call you on the phone, she can get in. She's like a goddamn djinn. Either way, that's enough of my tangent, enough of my rant. But the point is if you're being targeted, you're being attacked, you're being fucked with, it's being seen. You are safe. You are protected. It's going to be okay, but you're seen. And it's happening to you so that all the other people involved can get caught. It's happening to you because basically you're that pillar of strength. You are that living testimony. So not only are you going to survive it, that's their test. The way they treated you was their test. Had they treated you better, they would have got protection. If they treat you like shit, they lose protection. This happened. And my mother was protecting them and I was protecting her. So when I stopped protecting her, she stopped protecting them. Da da da. Domino effect. Don't protect the bad guys in your life. And some bad guys are literally turning around to help you because they didn't know what they were involved in either. Document your progress. Document what's going on with you and around you. If you know that you're being targeted and you can feel that you're being set up to be put in a weird fucking position, stay in the light, okay? Hands up. This is stick up. Everybody, this is baggage claim. Be okay with saying your part in it because the more truthful you are, the safer you're going to be. The more you try to hide it, the deeper the hole's going to get. I love you. Until next time. Don't give anyone a shovel to bury you and don't dig your own hole. I love you. Bye. Oops. Hold on. I don't want this thing to fall off here on me. Don't break your phone after you get the evidence.